1 year after the flood, well, actually about 10 months after the flood, July 25th, 2025 was when most of the business community was able to reopen. You know, to be out of business for 10 months and miss not only the fall season of 24, but then our whole summer season of 25 was pretty devastating to the business community and put a lot of people in a difficult situation.
The ocean waves may roll, and the stormy winds may blow, while we poor sailors go skipping to the top, and the landlubbers lie down below.
The General Assembly wanted a business loss assessment to figure out what actually happened. Now, a few months removed, and it turns out that the damage felt in the last quarter, that 3 months right after the storm, geographically concentrated in certain areas.
Then the ocean waves may roll, and the stormy winds.
The whole key to their economy is we need people to bring in money from other places to spend it here. Whereas if we're just an insular economy where I cut your hair, you change my oil, we're moving money back and forth, but we're not growing the economy. For the western part of the state to do that is not yet coming back. I don't know if people come to Asheville for the arts, but they sure as heck come back for the arts.
The most unique thing about the River Arts District is that it is a kind of hybrid gallery district as well as a working studios district. So you get all the context in which the work is created by all these different artists. Immediately you're going to get a unique kind of perspective on the art that you wouldn't get in a gallery.
When the flood first happened, like I said, we couldn't get in for about a week, maybe a week and a half roughly, I can't really remember now. We pulled our stuff out, we brought it out here. There were massive piles for weeks, if not a couple of months, of just trash, stuff that was trashed. When they lost their space, they didn't just lose their working space, they lost their selling space. And unfortunately, some people have had to say, okay, well, I can't get a work sell, so I'm gonna try and find some space where I can, even if it's small, I can just set up to sell. If enough people do that, the River Arts District no longer becomes a place where you can see working artists working. All you do is you see little spaces where they're selling.
One of the big benefits of this area is there is constant traffic of people trying to discover artists and coming to an area to hopefully find you kind of thing. There's almost like a lost year of new visitors that didn't come because they had heard the River Arts District was entirely washed away. There's a lot of information that, like a game of telephone, was totally distorted or untrue, whether it was intentional or not.
Everything I'm saying about RAD happened and is happening in other parts of Asheville too as a result of the hurricane. It all depends on geography. So the Biltmore Village is an area right outside the Biltmore Estate. It got wiped. That area was a wasteland for so long. It's now coming back.
So we were fortunate that we have the upstairs, most of the retail space of New Morning, that we were able to fairly quickly, which still took us 8 months because of the major infrastructure, to be able to repair and get occupied.
Now, Biltmore Village floods all the time, right? It's in a low spot. You know, people are used to it. They're just not used to it at that scale.
It is a floody kind of place. We've had what we call nuisance floods in the past, and we thought that was our high water mark. But this storm was unprecedented, waiting a year and a half to open. It's taken a while, and the amount of devastation, it's kind of hard to understand. What we're having now is we're getting things open every day in the village.
day before, we'd been stocking up for the fall tourist season, you know, getting ready for one of our major seasons of the year, and all of a sudden your shop's destroyed and every piece of inventory that you have has either been washed away or destroyed.
I believe it was 4 feet of water and then 2 feet of mud. The doors blew out with, you know, everything you can imagine going out. Everything was a mess in here and destroyed. We sat here one day and, well, Spokes of Hope said, yeah, we can help. We don't know how much, but let's help.
A Christian organization came through right after the storm and helped Spokes of Hope. They came in and helped 90%, if not all of these businesses came through to help them on rebuilding their shops, and for zero cost. We're still waiting for some major funding for infrastructure. We still got to get the roads rebuilt. We got to get water and sewer put in and different things. So a lot of things are still have to happen, but at least the plan will help us do that.
I think the biggest thing for us is going to be to maintain that enthusiasm and energy, and you know, continue to work to rebuild. We're making good progress, and I have no doubt that we'll get all the way to the finish line. But it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, that's for sure.